with respect to Jimi Hendrix and out of compassion for your fretting hand, I could not end the first module of the Bar Chord Masterclass without giving you some alternate shapes for this E major bar chord shape. So I'm going to show you 3 different ways to play this in this lesson because as you're playing through songs, 3-minute, 4-minute, 5-minute song, your hand is going to get tired. And it might need a break every now and then if you're using all bar chords. And these alternate shapes can provide that break for you. Also, as you're playing in different situations with another guitar player or with a keyboard player, you might not need the entire shape. You might need just a smaller sounding shape that uses just the top 3 or 4 strings, and we'll get into that too. So those are the 2 reasons you might want to use some of the alternate shapes we're going to go over here.
And you can use these shapes or not use these shapes. It's totally up to you. Of the ones that we're going to show you, I really only use one of them personally, although Nate uses all 3. So,
right. And yeah. Let's go ahead and get into it. This one is the one that I got from Jimi Hendrix, and he uses it mostly because he can use his thumb to get different bass notes and get a completely different sound on the guitar, which is really cool. But it's a completely different technique from a standard E major bar chord shape, but it's the exact same notes. E major bar chord shape, playing a G, or here's the traditional one we were working on. Completely different. What I have to do is collapse the palm of my hand back onto the guitar neck so I can reach over with my thumb and grab the low E string on the 3rd fret. And then these 3 fingers, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th fingers, play exactly what they normally would. And then my index finger bars just the top 2 strings. And it feels really weird at first. I did not like this when I first did it, but I was learning some Jimi Hendrix stuff, go figure, and I had to use this shape because I needed my thumb to get some different bass notes, like things like that. And that's a terrible example, but you get the idea. This thumb needs to be free to play different things. And the cool thing about this is it gives that muscle right here a break. If you're playing for 5 minutes, you might need to throw this guy in there just to give you some relief so you don't get a cramp in your hand. But treat this just like any other normal chord that you would learn. Take it really slowly at first, put it on, check every single note, take it off. Make sure to reach all the way around with your thumb on that low E string, collapse your palm onto the back of the fretboard, bar the top 2 strings with your index finger, and again, the E shape is the exact same as it would be with a regular bar chord. Some people like the shape, some people hate it. I think it's really useful to have down or just be aware of at the very least. You don't have to use it, but it's really good to be aware of. So use it if you like. If not, skip it. I just wanted to throw it out there so you're aware of it and give you these other 2 shapes that are a lot smaller. Like I said, if you're playing with another guitar player, play an open G for me.
Open G?
Yeah, just open G.
Okay.
Now play a G bar chord with an E shape. Yeah. If she's playing that, I might not need that entire shape. Maybe I just need the top 2 strings, 3 strings, 4 strings. But the most common alternative to this shape that's a partial, what we call partial shape, is just either the top 4 strings. That's a lot easier to play than the full bar shape, so it kind of creates that rest from the full shape if you need it. Or for like a piano player is playing a big G chord and you don't need all those bass notes ringing out, you can use these top 4. And really, those notes are already in this shape. We're just eliminating the E and A strings.
This is really useful if you're playing, let's say, rhythm guitar with a band. So you've got maybe your bass guitar doing the bottom notes, maybe your piano is filling in those mid-tones, and so then you can take that high end. So then you're not all kind of muddying around the same notes, but you're taking a larger spectrum of sound.
And different types of music have better fits or spots or more appropriate sounds for these little mini shapes or fragments. And when I do this, I do change the fingering. I get rid of my pinky, and my middle finger comes over and plays the note my pinky was playing. You can check out the diagram here. It's just the top 4 notes, and then my index finger bars the top 2 strings, just like this one, the Jimi shape. But I'm only playing the top 4 strings there.
And the last shape uses even fewer strings than the first 2 that Nate just showed us. Honestly, the first one I never use because my hands are smaller than yours, and it just doesn't work for me to do all six
It takes
strings.
effort to get this one down initially.
Yeah.
You have to have a good reason to
Yeah,
get
there's
down,
just
down
like
if you have smaller hands. Yeah.
yeah. So I just find the traditional bar configuration just easier with like my smaller hands. But sometimes if I'm playing, I will do a little bit of a cheat with my F chord.
Right.
So if I'm playing a C, then I want to go to an F, but I don't feel like doing that whole thing. Then I'll just go F, or sorry, I'll go C, and then I'll switch to F. All I'm doing is moving these two fingers. I will angle down my first finger to mute
That high E.
this high E string, and then I might wrap my thumb around. I'm not pressing because it's
Right.
the wrong fret for that. I'd have to move way back here, and it just anyway.
But just to mute those low.
But just to
strings, yeah.
and then I'll just play these three for an F. So it's like a little bit of a cheat if I don't feel like it, if I
It's
need to be
less effort.
switching quickly between the chords, then I might do that one.
Yeah, it's less effort and it is faster, like just from a C to an F, right? And the same thing applies. Like these little shapes, the 4-note and the 3-note are movable just like the bar chord shape. You just have to think. You have to shift since you don't have this root note. Let's go back up to a G here. Since you don't have this root note on the low E, you have to switch your point of reference to the high E. So that G note on the high E string, or the G note right there on your third finger on the 5th fret of the D string. And if you're using the 3-note shape like Chelsea was just using, that is movable, but your reference point is this G note right there on the 5th fret. That's the only G in that chord shape. So you can move that all up and down the fretboard, but your reference point moves like this is a C. And don't worry about this too much, right? Just realize that it's movable at the C note on the 10th fret of the D string. So I'll be playing a C. So the main thing here is you have some options. You don't have to play this all the time. You have your G, Jimmy shape, Jimmy G,
Jimmy G.
4-note shape.
So like Kenny G, but guitar.
That's blasphemy. Oh my goodness. Foul. Flag on the play. Okay, and then the 3-note version. Kenny G, my goodness. But treat these just like you would any other chord. You have to put it on. As a matter of fact, grab a guitar now if you can. Put it on, take it off. And it's probably gonna sound for a while. It took me a while to get this one down, like I said. Take it off, put it on. Do the same thing with the 4-note shape. And it's really important that you visualize the entire shape as you do this, and where the root notes are in the particular shape you're using, like the high E and D string there, or if you're using the 3-note version, just the D string. Take it off, put it on. This is exactly how you want to practice this. And you don't have to do a long 5, max 10 minutes a day on this for these new shapes, because you're going to need to work on other things, and if you're consistent with it, these shapes will come pretty quickly. And be sure to get these down smoothly at first with no metronome, so you can get really comfortable with moving those shapes around to the 1, 4, and 5 locations, G, C, and D, with no metronome before putting the jam track on, and playing through that exact same thing. Let's do that real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. So measure G, 2, 3, 4. Another measure G. Let go early to change if you need to. C, 2, 3, 4. C, 2, 3. Here comes a D. Another D. And then back to a G. And you can do this with all 3 shapes. It's the partial 4-note. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 4, go to C. If you need to let go early, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the D. 2, 3, 4. Let go early to get back to that G. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Let's do the 3-note shape now. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Here comes a C. Comes the D. 3, 4, back to a G. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Lastly, here are your final assignments for Module 1. Congratulations, you got through the first module of the Bar Chord Masterclass. So here are your assignments. 1. Add this new shape for the E bar chord to your daily practice time. 2. Move the shape up and down the fretboard to new locations. 3. Use this new shape to play a 1-4-5 progression in the key of G major. And 4, watch a video of Jimi Hendrix playing guitar. That's the best assignment.
Yeah, she did that the other night as she was going over the stuff. She went kind of down the wormhole of Jimi Hendrix videos.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for going through this first module of the Bar Chord Masterclass with us. We hope you enjoyed it and it helped you out. If you want to continue, just go to guitarfam.com and you can purchase individual modules of the remaining 11 modules there for a very reasonable price, or you can pick up and invest in the entire course for a discounted price, and that comes with the ebook and everything. If you need some extra help along the way to get a plan ironed out for success, you can book a private lesson with me. The first one is complimentary. Thanks so much, and we will see you on the site. Bye.